Welcome to the Blessed Teach Show. This is Rick, your host, here on Monday, December 30th. And we are talking Trump versus Colt 93. I'm going to try to get through this all. Thank goodness Q didn't post a ton this time, so we might be able to finish up the entire part 4. I'm hoping. We got 66 through 78 images. So whatever that is like 12 or 13 images, right? We will get through, hopefully, all of the finalization at SB2 Decode. He has a conclusion at the very end, and I think I've been pretty upfront that I disagree with, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But tell you what, the Decode in general is awesome, and this, including this 4th part. So we'll get into exactly that. I'm going to plug in my backup here. It just got unplugged, and we'll get rolling. We have a bunch of people on already. Thank goodness. We've got some great moderators, Scoob and Cosensi. Thank you guys for being on. Amy Mercia is on. Do appreciate that. The first one on was Adeline Marie Robertson. Thank you for being on. I'm just looking to where you guys are all from. I see Texas in the house, California's in the house, Chicago's in the house, Milwaukee. I love it. And we got Louisiana in the house. Thank you guys for being on here. We are talking Trump versus Colt 93 over the last week, right? So I think 6 shows or 5 shows to get through all this. So we're going to try to get through part 4 here pretty quickly. I did want to jump in real quick, though, to look at the Q post that I kind of had to skip over last time since I was in such a hurry yesterday. And you look at this 2461, you are the witnesses, the system destruction of the old guard. You are witnessing the system destruction of the whole old guard. That was 2641. But this was an interesting one that was right here. Let's see where, oh, I see. I said that I'm on the wrong one. I want to go over here. Come on. Make sure I get to the latest one. That was not the latest one. Because that was, okay, it's a reset for these 2. Okay, I'll just let you guys know. This was the one that was reprinting. And I just want to kind of go through this in more detail. This is the scheme behind the fake Russia dossier. And he said, use this as the guide, right? In the latest one. In fact, I'll go see it here on this qmap.pub. Here it is. It says, follow the guide, Q. And that was 3773. But he reposted this one that was actually 436 right here, right? 436. And that's what I wanted to kind of go over in more detail with you. 436. One of 22. DNC breach dossier. DNC. That right there, that is Seth, R-I-C-H. I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about there. Now, it could be talking about Susan Rice as well. So those are the SRs that you'll see. You can see I'm putting my cursor right here, and it kind of shows me WL, WikiLeaks. That's why, because the context is WikiLeaks, I'm pretty sure that's Seth, R-I-C-H. And then you got Hussein, DNI director, clown director, which is obviously Comey, because it's talking about this. DNI director is Clapper. Clown director would be the CIA director, which would be Brennan. Class 1 and 2, Google, CrowdStrike, DNC, SR 187, MS-13 to 187, talking about basically the murder of Seth, R-I-C-H, and by MS-13. Debbie Waterman Schultz, the director, she was the head of the DNC, right, until she got fired because of the mess up there. F_I, talking about the FBI, and D_J, but basically talking about the DOJ assist. So they basically assisted in helping the Trump takedown, or the whole entrapment. Insurance, and they have this little triangle here, and that's referring to the 3 triangle sides, which includes Saudi Arabia, George Soros, and the Rothschilds. Then you have Hussein, HRC, you got LL, Loretta Lynch, you got JC, James Clapper, could be sometimes James Comey. Here you got AM, which is Andrew McCabe. So the context of this, it looks like this right now, would probably be James Comey, because it's talking about Andrew McCabe next. Peter Strzok, all the FBI takedown here. Support, and then the supporting, who was all supporting James Comey and Loretta Lynch and Andrew McCabe and Peter Strzok? Well, it was CS, which is Chuck Schumer, most likely. Nancy Pelosi, NP. AS, Adam Schiff. Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, Class 4. It's kind of funny. NP shows nonprofit here, but we know that's Nancy Pelosi. Class 5, Class 6, British Intel, HRC, Camp pay, DNC pay, Class 1 through 4 pay, Steele. So it's all these people are paying all these spies, right? Plus, so this is the guide that we're going to see in all these disclosures. U.S. Senate no name, U.S. Senate Class 1, U.S. Senate Class 2, JC, LL, and most likely again back to James Comey and Lederer Lynch. Hussein, FISA 2, President Daily Briefing. So we know all this was going all the way to Obama. U.S. Senate no name. That's where McCain was working on the dossier as well. News Shop, BuzzFeed. Obviously was the MSM culprits there when they leaked the whole dossier. Public Narrative, Stage Set, Future Prevent, Removal Op. Ramification, U.S. Intel legal spy on president candidate, president-elect, Republican Congress, Republican Senate, news friendly, etc. So they also were spying on Republicans in Congress. They were spying on Republicans in the Senate, and anybody that's friendly to the POTUS, which includes the spying that we're finding out on John Solomon and Sarah Carter, Dan Bongino. All these people were being spied on. And this, if you go back further, the hammer is going to show spying going on to almost everybody that was a political opponent of Obama. So this is by far the biggest scandal in history. And they joke about not having any scandals in their 8 years when they had Fast and Furious and the IRS scandal and the religious liberty targeting. They had scandals constantly. They just covered them up with the deep state. Now it's all coming to the forefront, which is quite exciting. Hey, the sponsor of this episode is preparewithrick.com, which is the My Patriot Supply, the survival food. Guys, the time to prepare is now, not when the grocery stores are empty, right? Or you run out of power for two months. And those are the type of things that when you look at what's happening with Antifa and with the risk we have here, just to have the 6 weeks of food is vital. I know Gene personally, I think, was telling me he's at 5 years. He suggests having at least 6 months of food. I'm saying, hey, at least have 6 weeks per person, right? And that's why I love preparewithrick.com here. They've prepared for me to help you guys get this on a discounted basis. Like, here's a 2-week supply that you can get of food that is almost 50% off. You get $100 off the 4-week supply. The 4-week supply also has more calories, has more food varieties, and all of these have 25 years shelf life as well as resealable Mylar pouches. So a great place. So to not have food storage does not make a lot of sense in today's day and age when you have a silent civil war going on behind us, right? So go to preparewithrick.com and get yourself the 6-week per food per person in your household to make sure that you can survive a couple months of downtime if possible. And obviously you can't cook this food without water. And so if the water gets compromised in any fashion, then having water with Rick will be important. That is the filter here, waterwithrick.com. So you got waterwithrick.com or preparewithrick.com. This filter is awesome. It works well right now. You can use it right now even without crisis. And make sure you get the fluoride out of your water. We're going to be talking about that. The pineal gland gets calcified with fluoride. We should not have any fluoride in our water. And it's a criminal that they have it in almost, I think, 3/4 of the United States. So please filter that out. This is great. You put the water up here. It filters through this filter. And in about a couple hours, you have a couple gallons, I believe it is, of water that takes out heavy metals, fluoride, chlorine, viruses, bacteria, pesticides, etc. All right. So with that, I want to move to the main event, and that is getting into Part 4 of Trump versus the Cult by SB2, the secret war that Trump is winning. Part 4, dark to light. Did the Bush and Hussein's nude body scanners work and contribute to our safety? No, it's right here. So here's a video showing how it doesn't even, and oh, look at this. This video may be inappropriate for some users. That's probably because it shows... I'm
publishing this video because...
And he's just basically showing how he could put a gun, and the gun doesn't even show up on the scanner because it's looking through everything except for matter, right? So a gun is not matter. So that's why if it's on the side right here, that wouldn't even show up. So he shows how easy it is to dupe these naked machines. These naked machines really don't make it any safer. That's the whole point he's making here. Things got worse with body scanners when child porn showed up in the mix. And so literally they were taking they were taking these body scanners and literally that's almost like porn because it looks right through your clothes, and so that was actually showing up as well as for children. And it's not just this video. He gives us another video right here to show that this
Who
was.
Who cares if the TSA saw me?
Yeah, and but this is going body scan images for the TSA, talking about exactly how they all showed up, etc., on child porn sites and all that other stuff. So several videos to prove that this is no joke. That number one, doesn't really make you safer. Number two, it was a social experiment like he's been talking about. How did these images end up circulating when TSA told us the nude body scanners had no storage capabilities? The truth is, the true capabilities were never disclosed. And here's another video talking about just that.
The images produced by whole-body scanners don't leave much to the imagination. But the Transportation Security Administration has said repeatedly, even on its own website, your privacy will be protected.
The system has no way to save, transmit, or...
Then we find out that's a lie.
The machines.
The document says the machines must have hard drives for storage and USB ports and Ethernet connectivity that could allow downloading of images. An unspecified
There you go. So they basically lied to us, saying that none of that was going to be saved. Now, do you want to know who really collected the nude images? Were they just collected by a few rogue TSA agents? No, larger scale. Conspiracy fact. They were collected by Hussein administration. Here's a link that talks about just that. Fed store body scans. U.S. Marshals saved 35,000 images from just one courthouse. So it also can connect your energy, and just like you have a blueprint of your DNA, you have also a genetic energy that can be stored. And Gene is telling me that these can do a lot more than if they have this code, they can actually download things to you. So this is part of them making us a robot and giving us them more information about what we would put up with, and is to keep us safe, to tell us a lie about keeping safe, etc. Now you have the building blocks to understand what really happened. Read very carefully and discover how Bush and Hussein nude body scanners were after your DNA. So here you see, we just saw this. This is one of the videos that's in here. In the image of a nude child that they are seeing, people think that this is just sort of a blurry image. It is not a blurry image. It is an image of a naked person. And you can see how detailed that can get. And this person says, how to get anything through TSA nude body scanners. Security exploits purposely arranged to allow terrorist attacks when needed. So when they want their little staged incident, or what we call an FF, right? They can take down a plane if they want, because they really aren't making us more safe. They're doing social experiments on us. Here's CBS News. Fed store body scans. U.S. Marshals saved 35,000 images from just one courthouse. We saw that, how terahertz waves tear apart your DNA. A new model of the way that terahertz waves, sorry about that, I hit the expand button there on me, interact with DNA explains how the damage is done and why evidence has been so hard to gather. Terahertz waves are emitted by the body scanners. The waves unzip double-stranded DNA, creating bubbles in the double strand that could significantly interfere with processes such as gene expression and DNA replication. Here you see TSA employee sentenced to prison for possessing child pornography. That was on November 12th. Michael Scott Wilson, 42 years old. Former TSA employee in prison for 15 years on child porn charges. You can see that was in November of 2018. Gary Linder Jr., 27-year-old. TSA agent at OIA facing federal child porn charges. Curtis Fleming in August of 2019, 34 years old. Here's a decoded message. puzzle coming together. The security measures taken after 9/11 are inefficient and were never intended for our protection. Post 9/11 security measures was an operation aiming at, number one, collecting nude images to grow and feed the network of perverse affiliates and pedophiles for normalization purposes. Number two, altering our DNA through the terahertz waves and make it remotely and individually accessible through the then built database and additional use of telecommunication networks and devices. And number three, building an energy signature database, allowing them to reconstruct the energy history of any given individual for spying and blackmail purposes. That's how they run the world in these cults, is all spying and blackmailing. Do you like sightseeing? Have you ever heard of the Wall Street Bull? Here is a 133-second video that will tell you everything you need to know about it.
A visit to the New York Stock Exchange is always high on the list of things to do for those visiting the Big Apple. But just a few blocks away from the exchange is an even more popular New York landmark, the iconic Wall Street Bull, that over the years has come to represent both the good and the bad of the financial capital of the world.
We don't know exactly the...
You can go look more about that. There's that big bull, and everybody gets pictures with it, etc. Tells you more about it. But he's going to tell us a little bit more about it here at SB2 as we go. Here's a 97-second video describing recent restorations after recent attacks. Patched up after a recent attack. You can see that. We got a gash in its head, so there's...
Destroy the bull. The bull is for all the world, for everybody.
So they're making a big deal about this bull, making sure it's perfect, right? A bronze bull attacked by a man with a banjo? Why was the maestro who breaks records without even having a guitar mentioned in this story? Hammer. Did you notice the fake blood? Can you solve? You can go back and look at that video a little bit more carefully. I'm just trying to get through all this. You can go back and see that. You'll see during the images, he'll bring back some of this stuff. On March 7th, 2017, the Wall Street Bull was given company. Watch these 165 seconds very carefully. And again, he's going to talk about these in the images, so I'm not going to show the whole thing.
State Street Global Advisors commissioned the iconic statue. Lori Heinel is their Deputy Global Chief Investment Officer and joins us now.
So they talk all about this bull again.
The fearless girl can continue to inspire girls and women around the globe.
And they have new fearless girl comes on here right now that's looking at the bull. Right, it was a new statue they put up. So they talk all about that. It says, as you can see, SSGA was very inspired when out of all the possibilities in New York, they chose to place Fearless Girl right in front of the New York Golden Calf. Watch the video carefully. Look around. Look at the black flag, its colors, the letters fully showing up, etc. Did you notice that at 1:57, right after she said inspired from, the 9:21 a.m. sign appeared? We are in 93 territory and in the 7th column of the Luciferian grid. So again, that was at 1:57 of this video.
State Street Global
if I take this on to 1:57, I'm go back to 1:54, give it 3 seconds.
The roots of where the fearless girl was inspired from, right? As asset stewards of nearly $3 trillion in assets globally.
So that's what he's pointing at right there, is that the fearless girl's right at there. You'll see the 9:21 a.m. sign, which was right here. All right, so 9:21, which is 9, plus the 2 plus 1 is 3. You've got the 93 again. That's what he's pointing us toward there. We are 93 territory in the 7th column of the Luciferian grid. For now, we'll just focus on the fearless girl, and now she's connected to 9/11 and their DNA collection operation. Read carefully. So here's the image 67 digging into this. So here's the September 11th, 2017. They put the fearless girl there on March 7th, 2017. That's 5,657 days. And if you look at 55, that is Satan. You look at the State Street Global Advertisers, SSGA equals 46, which can be 2 times 23, which can be the chromosome pairs that they talk about. You see here you got these people hate America, Q 1470. These people hate America. The Fearless Girl is a bronze sculpture by Kristen Visbel, commissioned by State Street Global Advisors, SSGA, a large asset management company. The statue was installed on March 7, 2017, in anticipation of International Women's Day. The following day, it is located in the front of the New York Stock Exchange in the Financial District, Manhattan, New York City. You can see the height of that is 4 foot, and the weight is 250 pounds. Well, there you go, the Y structure right there. All pointing to the Y structure. The decoded message is this: under the disguise of advocating for women empowerment, Fearless Girl is a secret in plain sight reporting on the Satanist war against mankind and the progress made after the 9/11 ritual. It confirms that under Satan's guidance, our DNA is targeted by Family Y and its 13 Illuminati bloodlines. Many private companies, municipalities, and institutions we trust are part of this global and insidious conspiracy. That's scary stuff. That's image 67. If you understand that the New York Golden Calf and Fearless Girl statues are about the interactions of 2 representations and that the underlying subject matter is DNA, you are equipped to assemble all the pieces of the nude body scanners and identify its implications. So here's the next image. It's talking about they betrayed us, but the maestro is fixing it. Feds admit they stored body scanner images, and TSA claimed the images cannot be saved. It says try to solve the puzzle before reading the decoded messages. And its body scanners might violate UK child protection laws. Removed full body airport scanners being redeployed by military law enforcement. So even though they removed these naked things out of the airports, they put them in law enforcement, so they're still being used in other places. TSA removes revealing body scanners. Well, it's all over now, as the Transportation Security Administration says it has met the June 1st, 2013 deadline to remove all 250 backscatter machines from U.S. airports. So finally, we threw a fit. They finally got rid of them, but they got plenty of pictures in the meantime in our DNA energy level, right? Our footprint, our energy footprint. Here you talk about the 61213, which can be taken down to the 13 Illuminati bloodlines. You have 250, which can be go down to 25 because you ignore the zeros, which brings you to the Y family. So here's the decoded message. Puzzle coming together. They installed the machines knowing full well that the public would fight back, but they had enough time to collect the images they said they were not saving, specifically the images of children. When it was time to pack, they signed out with the message in plain sight to Family Y. No worries, mission accomplished. We got what we wanted for the building of the Y structure. Next, they redeployed the equipment in the military and law enforcement to continue collection. What they are not telling you in school is that, like DNA, we each have a unique energy signature that can be captured by tech along with its history. That's an energy signature right there. For example, if 2 people have exchanged energy, that exchange can be spotted and documented. Do you see the spine application of this and what they have been really collecting and for what purpose? Do you now understand what the maestro meant when he said that Comey and Mueller love each other according to the picture file? Can you spot where Q revealed the secret? Now expand your thinking. If they used terahertz waves to unzip the DNA, it means they secured remote writing capabilities. Now that this is in the hands of the maestro, do you imagine the positive medical applications? Yes, we could order remote healing packages and enter the era of cheap and even free quantum medicine. The best is yet to come. So scary what they were going to do with that. they could take, as you know, they created AIDS, they've created Ebola, most likely, the cabal did, and they could actually download it into you based upon the energy signatures they have collected. Are you seeing the big picture yet? I'm telling you, there was a global satanic conspiracy targeting our energy signatures and our DNA to replace or enslave all humans on planet and install a global satanic government led by someone Cult 93 calls the Immortal Chief. They successfully implemented phase 1 of the strategy, and the Maestro stopped them before they could move to phase 2. He stripped them of the means by which they were subjugating us and is recycling them to our advantage. You already see the results with the economy. What's coming is what he means with the best is yet to come. Far-fetched? You already know Hollywood is the way through which they get our consent, right? Satanists need our consent to do what they are doing to us. Remember, Satan convinced Adam and Eve to eat the fruit? He did not have the power to force the fruit into their constitution. This is what he continues to do with Hollywood. He's very well aware of the legal meaning in the supreme divine court of the verse. The following verse of Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. It's actually 2 Corinthians 2:11. So, when I want to know what he's up to, I watch a few TV shows to be updated. For example, we've already gone through 93 and B613 in Scandal. Do you know a show called Blind Spot? Here it is. Here's a video trailer of Blind Spot.
July 9th, 2015. Agent Patterson, ID number 55609. Updating case file 8348Y. Subject Jane Doe. Hand-to-hand combat.
3 minutes, so I'm going to skip through it pretty quickly.
Any metric. Subject displays applied knowledge and skills taught only in high-level military training, with indications of extensive experience in active combat and extremely high levels of success.
Yeah, and it just shows
already
her.
Led to the aversion of a terrorist act and neutralization of the would-be.
So that's the Blind Spot trailer. Just a quick run through that. Here's a quote. Her narrative memory has been obliterated, but her procedural memory seems to be impacted. Encrypted clues to future crimes. Name of an FBI agent tattooed on her back. Does this ring a bell? You got it. The Luciferian Grid and James Comey. Look at image 69. So you look at this whole thing that goes through the trailer. A vast international plot explodes when a beautiful Jane Doe is discovered naked in Times Square, completely covered in mysterious and intricate tattoos with no memory of who she is or how she got there. But there, with one tattoo that is impossible to miss, the name of FBI agent Kurt Warner, emblazoned across her back. Jane, Agent Weller, and the rest of the FBI quickly realize that each mark on her body is a crime to solve, leading them closer to the truth about her identity and the mysteries to be revealed. And if you look at season 1, episode 12 of it, it says, I've run this video through every biometric recognition scan we've got. Face, voice, fear, it's him. And it says, oh, the ears, a treasure trove. We don't even want to know what I can do with an ear. And then it's pointing us back to 93, where Mike Tyson is biting off the ear of Evander Holyfield. And then it's pointing back to Comey here and this grid of the fake Fibonacci series, where they start with 7 and go 25 up for each of it, right? And it talks and it brings us into all these different events of Eve and Jihad and Deadhead, and the NFL, all kinds of things here. Director James Comey and Luciferian Grid with the Satanic Crime Timeline. So the decoded message is this. Q, 1736. What are the odds? Q. Blind Spot is about a global conspiracy, involves an FBI agent, and goes through a sequence of crimes and riddles, just like James Comey with the Luciferian Grid. In Season 1, Episode 12, a stunning dialogue occurs about biometrics, scans, and ears. This connects to the 9/11 body scanners and to Tyson biting Holyfield. Q, 1283. Eyes open, comms good, Q. So just like he had to ask Job, Satan had to ask God's permission in Job, right, to go attack Job. This is how supposedly they let us know what they're about ready to do to us as they control us completely. That it was the Luciferian Grid, image 69. Were the comms really referring to Blind Spot, or just a coincidence? What if I told you Blind Spot was validated in the comms by Flotus and Ivanka? Let's see if you can solve this. Here are the 3 items you need to connect. Here's a Flotus video, an Ivanka video, and a Blind Spot video. Now, obviously, this is very time consuming to go over all of this, but we'll go over some of it. Here's the video. You've seen this before. This is the Christmas video. We saw 17 as one part of it. They're going to look at something different, and SB2 is going to look at something different than that. But you guys get a good feel for what this is. The B Best was here. That also had a 17 domino. So many codes were in that awesome video with Melania and the Flotus video. Here's an Ivanka video.
We have come together today because we have a historic chance to pass paid family leave and childcare reform so that every American family has the freedom to embrace the dignity of work and the joy of raising a family. We recognize that balancing work and family is a deeply personal choice. That is why our vision is to give each parent the resources and support they need to make the best choice for their families. Under our pro-family, pro-worker, pro-American agenda, families have never had a brighter future. Since the election, we've created over 7 million new jobs. Unemployment has reached historic lows, and nearly 650,000 children being raised by single moms have been lifted out of poverty.
All right. That is Ivanka. And then you have Blind Spot video.
Did Santa bring that for you? Oh my goodness.
Okay, kiddo, it is way past your bedtime.
Can you say goodnight? Big hugs.
Thank you for bringing her for an early Christmas.
Yeah, she's gonna be really confused when this all happens again in 3 weeks with Connor's family.
Hey, it's the least I could do. You guys have made the trip to Colorado a lot more often. You think I could rewrap these presents and give them to Bethany on the plane as prizes for not screaming?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on with you? You've been quiet all night.
When Jane finds out the truth, we'll destroy her.
This one?
Fine.
This one?
She's tired.
Hey, it's okay to breathe. She's back now. You're not gonna lose her again.
What about this one? No?
So I'm going to stop it there because I think it really has to do with the children and her hugging the child and stuff. So I think we got to the major part of that. Again, here is a solution in image 70. He gets into showing different parts of this, and you can see it. That's at 317 is when here where the joy of raising a family they're talking about here, and at 305 you can see there in the Flotus video. The spirit of Christmas is shining in the White House. I am delighted to share this beautiful exhibit of patriotism for all to see, and excited for everyone to see the experience the beauty of the Christmas season. We need to know the be best thing there. The domino 11 plus 6 is 17. We know that. We've known that for a while, and that can kind of go into puzzles on the 530 of the movie. Here is this Fix My Present Havoc summary. This is episode 3 and episode 3:7. Talks about the Christmas tree. The season has spent a lot of time musing in the area of parental responsibility, adjustment as a father. Inside the box are a few alphabet blocks, so that's part of the the movie. So the blind spot had a Christmas tree in it. I talked about the family, which linked to Ivanka, and also linked into the Christmas tree here with the blocks is what they're getting at. Sure enough, the letters help her label the molecule itself, which is being used in a clinical trial to treat cancer patients. And also, what's strange though is that 2 lab workers involved in the trial have died in the last few months. One committed suicide and the other died in a car accident. So he's taking all that and linking it together and saying the decoded message is Flotus and Ivanka respectively connect to Blind Spot Season 3, Episode 7 through Christmas, the alphabet block, and parenting. Notice how the witch appears through her initials, HC, and how the Clinton body count is confirmed by the 2 lab workers involved in the trials randomly dying. So this is the where you see the Y family connection here with the HCCCH, right? With they're pointing to that as Hillary Clinton. HCCC plus H equals 25. You caught, she's representing family Y, because Y is the 25th letter of the alphabet, is what that's getting into there. Now, once you've identified connected topics or principles, what do you do next? Yes, you analyze timestamps, deltas, and capital letters to find the confirmations and additional intel through the comms. Here are the solid proofs from Flotus and Ivanka confirming Blind Spot and the Luciferian grid that indeed the Maestro stopped Cabal's 93 plan at phase 1. And thank goodness, huh? Here is the Flotus, December 2nd. This was retweeted on December 2nd, 2019 at 12:15:45. The video length is 57 seconds. The video size is 7.9 megabytes. So he's taken all that information. We saw the HC here for the Hillary Clinton. He's taken weight. HSC is 83. Phase 1 is 83. So that's the link to phase 1 and wisdom. And so this is linking to some of the columns in the satanic grid. The 23, the video size being the delta of between the 2 videos is 2.3. And then a bunch of other differentiators is getting to mirror 32 through 23. And then he's taken other things from this video here from Ivanka, getting the video length differences and things, and getting weight as 53 as the gematria there, the best message 52. So he's taken all that information, which and for me personally, looking at all these things, a stretch, but I think the way I kind of look at this is SB2, I think is part of the Q team, has a lot of information and uses numbers to kind of prove what he already knows versus the opposite way. But that's just my thoughts anyway. But here he's talking about all this decoded message. The 2 videos are 54 and 56 seconds long. The first message is 55. The second message is coded in the timestamp delta 4. The video size delta 2030 confirms 104 and is connected to Q's famous password 23 at the 01 market. This unveils the sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57 respectively, solving the 7 and the 57. The first and third columns of the satanic grid are confirmed. The mirror of Q's password 23 is 32 and it's confirmed by Flotus at 1 second. Column 2 of the satanic grid is confirmed. We notice phase 1 equals 83 and wisdom equals 83 is a hint we should have wisdom and count the number of the name. Here is the name of the witch HRC. We noticed Flotus connects to Ivanka's weight through weight SHC equals weight HRC plus 1 equals 82 plus 1. The plus 1 is compensated by the 0.01 mark where the 23 password is revealed, and 82 confirms column 4 of the satanic grid. As you can see, the 4 first columns of the satanic grid are confirmed. Phase 1 of the satanic plan is confirmed. The POTUS dynamic summarization by weight and the satanic's subsequently inability to move to phase 2 is confirmed. Agree Rick uses numbers to show what he knows to us, just a way to let us know. Yeah, Gene saying on chat. Yeah, so bottom line here is a lot of complicated and mathematical genius thinking to basically say that he's confirming that the Luciferian, from through the Luciferian grid and everything, that phase 1 was executed by Obama, but phase 2 was stopped by POTUS, which is obviously incredibly good news. What a beautiful day. The Maestro stopped Colt 93 right before they could move to the second phase of their satanic and covert invasion of the planet. They were able to apply the seal of Lucifer, enthrone their immortal in chief, and install a world order that would have paved the way to the reign of their royal lineage. Ha ha ha, now that can generate some hate. The Luciferian grid and the phase 2 red square in the 107 column right before the return of Q in column 132 will be my contribution to the identification of the rationale explained to the Trump derangement syndrome, or reactions like this one.
I don't hate anybody.
Representative
I know
Collins,
that was
the
raised
reason
in
I asked.
Catholic house. You don't hate anybody, not anybody in the world. But don't accuse me.
I did not accuse you.
You did.
I asked a question. Representative Collins yesterday suggested that the
Now she keeps
when he
yelling.
doesn't deal with
And she keeps
that addresses
yelling.
me. I don't hate anyone. I was raised in a way that is a heart full of love, and always prayed for the president.
Yeah, she's
and
freaking
I still
out.
pray for the president. I pray for the president all the time.
She prays to
So
Satan.
don't mess with me when it comes to words like that.
That's Nancy freaking out with Trump derangement syndrome. Here's another one with Trump derangement
Now,
syndrome.
both sides were meeting at the White House, where 20 minutes in, Pelosi led a walkout. She says Trump had a meltdown
Thanks,
because
Jeff B.
of
Appreciate
a
it.
House vote condemning him for leaving northern Syria. But later, Trump tweeted that it was actually Pelosi who had the meltdown. He called her, quote, a very, very sick person, and asked people to pray for her.
Yeah, no kidding. We need to pray for Nancy, that's for sure. Do you think they'll give me a Nobel for this one day? Ha ha ha. Just like the Maestro created the Space Force, the Nobel Committee will have to create a new field and call it demonics, hilarics, comics, or something like that. Ha 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 ha. Thanks, Jeff B. Appreciate that. I tell you what, guys, that might be one way to keep me off the air for a while, because YouTube makes a little bit on those super chats, and they have to, if we're not financially viable, they're going to kick us off. And since they demonetize all my stuff, I'm not sure if that's going to help or not, but it'll at least give us if we can show that we actually were creating some revenue for YouTube, maybe that will help and strengthen our lawsuit against them when we do class actions against them, right? But here's Q 1688, dark to light. Good wins. Q. Watch how Flotus describes what happened behind the scenes. You've already watched this video, but this time try to watch it with your eyes of your heart and extract the hidden meanings. So he's going to go over this in more detail, so we're not going to rewatch the video. You'll notice it when we look at these three images. Here's the three images of this. So he's basically saying, if you watch this video with your heart, you're going to kind of think through this. You see this beautiful house here. You're going to see through the beauty and the secret unity in numbers, because it's talking about numbers up here, right? And it shows the tree up here. Helped by the serpent who deceived mankind with the apple in the Garden of Eden. And you look here. God signed the perfection of his creation. They managed to take control of the most powerful office of the planet. And I wonder if this is going sideways. No, I think I'm doing this right. They managed to take control of the most powerful office of the planet, and were hoping to seal their victory with Lucifer's instructions. The enemies of mankind have been using hidden knowledge to wage war against us, cast spells, access our biology from extra-dimensional portals. I'm blowing this up bigger for you guys. Here's the next one. It says, by violently targeting our children, collecting our blood through various means, and renewing their attacks on our DNA. And like the days of Noah, alter our DNA for mind control purposes, and in order to covertly grow people as crop used for energy. That's kind of a scary thing if you think about that, but I think that SB2 has a point. That's exactly what they're in the Matrix. That was what happened. All the people were being used as energy, as they were going to be using us for all these evil purposes, as we were basically either robots or food. And that was image 72. Image 73 continues this. We fought back and terminated their programs targeting our DNA, targeting our freedom. We took the environment and biological measures to recover from their abuses. With peace through strength, we are stopping the blood of mankind from being spilled to feed Satan and his armies. Heal our biology, restore our DNA, and put mankind back on the course of releasing his full potential. Satan left the White House, and the spirit of America took over. Knowing the means they used to attack us, we created a space force that is silent. And so this, I think I missed one there. Sorry about it. Satan left the White House, and the spirit of America took over. That's silently waging war against the extra-dimensional entities. So I guess this is knowing that the means that they used to attack us, we created a space force that silently waging war against the extra-dimensional entities. We destroyed the bridge they tied to the building to bring into our dimension their immortal chief. This might be going left to right. I may be reading this wrong. I apologize, but you guys will have access to all these images, obviously, in the show notes, as well as you can just go to SB2 Reddit and then find these as well. Here is image 4. It says, light has overcome darkness. The purpose of mankind is restored. Q1052, your trust and faith in us is enough. You elected us to do the heavy lifting. Enjoy the show. Birth of a new nation. New world. Q. So that's SB2's interpretation of that video, the Christmas video. Probably do a lot better job if you read this left to right here. And I was going down. But pretty cool stuff. Legal Alien, thanks. Appreciate it. Where we go one, we go all. We'll unplug the lie box in America. That's exactly what we need to do, isn't it? So that was images 73 through 74. We got 4 more images and we've got it's wrapped up. Thank you, Flotus. Now you know the reason why our commander-in-chief created the Space Force and from which types of enemies this force is protecting us. Look in image 75. You see POTUS talking about Trump delivers remarks at the signing ceremony for the National Defense Authorization Act of fiscal year 2020. It's at 7:46 p.m. And you can see all the capital letters equals 232. Can mean center of the universe. It's retweeted at 2019 as well. He's bringing us to 2019 here. Big Bird 9 now offline. We talked about Big Bird backstage with Gene this just about 7 o'clock today. That'll be, for those of you backstage, the recording will be available tomorrow. So you can go see Gene Unleashed on the exclusive backstage video. But Big Bird 9 now offline, which was a big thing because this was the satellites as well as we took the Coronas down. We took down also the supercomputers with that were the 7 dwarfs. So they became blind, right? Then we see these layers 1 and layer 2 talking about different things. If you look at 1946 based upon this timestamp, you'll see this is talking about, do you believe in coincidences? It's talking about, I think this is the one that was mapping illegal aliens to or this is when I think all the Microsoft network went down and they tried to erase everything. So I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it's basically coming down with 93s here, based upon the retweet times, etc. It's also coming down to 39 here, which is obviously reversed as 93 as well, using some Gematria stuff I'm not going to go over, have time to go over. But the decoded message is this: the signing by POTUS of the National Defense Authorization Act in the passage into law of the largest ever instrument in the United States military, and includes the establishment of a space force, which gives the United States the required capabilities to face the metaphysical threats that have been purposely ignored by former presidents to treasonously allow the covert invasion of the United States and the planet. 666, 93, Family Y, the 13 Illuminati bloodlines, and all their affiliates are now offline. They lost the power they had. POTUS kicked them out. And there's now a big Q shining in space. Woo! That's image 75. Do you now see what I see? I think it's funny, and right in Christmas it goes, do you see what I see? Did you detect the Maestro's message to the cabal in his Colt 93 in its epic no quid pro quo statement after Sondland's testimony? We already decoded his written notes, but there is more to it. Watch again. So remember, we're talking about his written notes.
I'm going to go very quickly, just a quick comment on what's going on in terms of testimony with Ambassador Sondland. And I just noticed one thing, and I would say that means it's all over.
So he goes over exactly what's written on this, and we got it, and media got pictures of it completely, and it was obviously for us to decode, right? And so we're going to go over, he's going to go over this in detail here in a second, so we don't need to go over that whole video again. But when you hear things like, it just happened, and to which I turned off the television, you should detect these are comms. That's some quotes from Trump in that video. Yeah, I'll show you guys how to get backstage later. It's pretty easy. Just go to blessed2teach.com, blessed with a number 2, teach.com, and just go to the backstage tab, and there'll be ways to join there. Just FYI, there's a 30-day free trial that ends on the 2nd, day after tomorrow. So it's 30% off. It's a 30-30-30 sale. 30% off of the monthly plus the yearly plus 30 days free. That'll end on January 2nd. So let's look at this. So we're just talking about it just happened, to which I turned off the television. You should detect these are comms. Value for it just happened, 168, enough is enough. Value for to which I, 95, Hussein. Value for turned off, 109, lock her up. Value for the television, 163, Alice in Wonderland. Value for what do you want, 190, never compromise. The Maestro's whole speech was coded, and it was a direct message to Family Y, and it's Colt 93. It's an amazing message. Read it very carefully. This is how I will end this gift for you. It's going to end it with Q3257. We love you, Q. So I really do believe the Q team, white hats, Trump, love us. That's we the people. And it's fighting for us against this cabal. And they've already pretty much won the deal. So this is taking his detailed notes, showing what the Maestro had on his notes and said. He said it's all over. You heard that at the very first of the video, right? And this is what he said. So and he's coding this as, if you take all over, that's 85. 85 is Hillary. And then he's going to come to some more profound things over here in the hidden messages. And he took, what do you want from Ukraine? 321. 321 is President of the United States. He asked me, 81. 81 could be beginning, here I come. Screaming, 89. Look here. So now he's telling us to look at some places. You got, I keep hearing all these different ideas and theories, 433. What do you think that you're dealing with? Or who do you think you're dealing with? This is ambassador, 177. That would, the hidden code would be stop denying it. Noted hypocrite. Slalom, 83, can also mean Burisma. Speaking to me, 135 can mean Rothschild. So here's all that at the hidden message. Hillary wanted me to steal the U.S. presidency and ask her friends in Ukraine to help her stop me. With the help of fake news, she pushed false accusations to harm me, thinking I would not defend myself. She used the help of our ambassador in Ukraine, Yovanovitch, a noted hypocrite, who faked to be unaware of Burisma, which during Shifty's hearings until she was blatantly exposed by Stefanik. We already know from WikiLeaks that HRC is a Rothschild puppet. They now realize we are not in the same league and that all her attempts, with the help of Hussein, from Spygate to Mueller to impeachment, miserably failed. So they decided to send someone with a secret mission of talking to me. So that was a hidden message for one of the three. There's two more. So we go to the next one, which is image 77. See, image 77, again, this is what he's talking about. To which turned off the television. What do you want? It was a very short and abrupt conversation that he had with me, they said. And so you take all these and he's taking the gematria values of them and he's taking it down to the hidden code, is really talking about Hussein, lock her up, Alice in Wonderland, never compromise, mind control and behavior, quid pro quo, emotion. You can see how these are all going. As the world turns, control. They tried to scapegoat me. Stop falling for the fake news. Think low complexity, Rothschilds, global assets. Jesus Christ protects little children here in 418. Statement from President Donald Trump. John Podesta, Buckingham Palace, Blood Diamonds, Mason, Queen, Freemason, Hidden Code, Guess, Give Up Everything, Macintosh Computer. Other codes were Walk Away, Control, Masonry, Mockingbird, Run, and 13 to 31. I am the chosen one. Ritual sacrifice. It's about time, millennial reign. So you can see those are all taken from his handwritten notes and exactly what he said in this key video right here. I'm going to play just a little bit more of it in the middle here just to give you an idea. To see he said
he was not in a good mood. I'm always in a good mood. I don't know what that is. He just said, now he's talking about what my response. So he's going, what do you want? What do you want? I hear all these theories. What do you want, right?
So that's what they're talking about, his handwritten notes, which we have pictures of because they got really good pictures of that we showed you in previous videos on the earlier parts of this, right? So then all that code, SB2 is saying this is the hidden message. I immediately informed them that Hussein, HRC, and all her cronies will face justice for the horrible crimes they committed against children and that this was not open for discussion. No quid pro quo, no deals. They had no clue who they were dealing with, and they thought they could entrap me by using mind control and behavior modification techniques. They were hoping to change my mood, get the upper hand, and program my response, but it did not work. I have full control over my mood, and I'm always in a good mood. Once we were done with these shenanigans, I told them what I wanted and that it was not negotiable. I informed them that my priority is to save the children from the horrific crimes they have been committing and to free mankind from their control. For this to happen, they had to understand their time has come to an end and that they had to give up these following things: the satanic ritual sacrifices, pedophilia, and cannibalism, the control of governments through secret societies and blackmail, the control of wealth of the planet inherited from their move on the Bank of England and their deals with the British Crown and the Vatican. Just jumped on me, sorry about that. Deceiving humanity through their fake news and various other tools like the school and their curriculum, Hollywood, etc., to mind control people and dumb them down, spying on people and running various types of international trafficking human organ, blood, drugs, weapons, etc. through the grossly incompetent C_A. All right, so we have one last one in this 6-show, 4-part SB2 decode. It's image 78. This is the one where I have to disagree with SB2, and but I think the main part of the message is correct, that they don't know who they're dealing with. They're dealing with where I believe God's had his hand coming down, and he's anointed President Trump. This God has put the Spirit of God into President Trump, just like Kim Clement said he would do when Trump came into office. I believe, just like Mark Taylor says, is that the cabal's being exposed, and when Trump talks about him being the chosen one, he's the chosen one to take down the cabal. All those things I think are true. The conclusion of who Trump is where I'm going to disagree with him. But you'll see here's as he continues at the end of this video, and what's written down in his notes, which we already decoded from a Gematria standpoint. Now he's taking it into a much more comprehensive code. So remember, let's back up just a little bit before I finalize this last image. As we had, based upon SB2's previous decodes, we see that Hussein actually went into a skiff with Nancy Pelosi, several of the other people, such as Nancy Pelosi plus Shifty Schiff plus the guy in the house that's doing all the crap. Right? So all these crazy people, and so we know that they were in the skiff planning all this. We recorded it. Trump knew about it. So when he was going to talk to Zelensky, because they knew they were going to try to do the whistleblower thing, they coded the messages very specifically. In fact, we saw that they actually put an extra Y showing about family Y. They did a bunch of things in the transcripts, as well as his notes talking about this. This is all code for us to understand that he is denying the enemy timeline, as Mark Taylor would say, right? This Nadler was the person I was trying to think of. Nadler, Schiff, Pelosi, Hussein, all planning this whistleblower thing, right? So we know that. So now this code, that's beautifully, just think about this, how they, that's why he said the call was perfect. He always talks about this call being perfect, because it really was code to us. And when he was reading off this transcript, it was code for us. So here's the final part of this, where he takes all these things he said. This is the final word, right? So 219. That's where this yellow one says, "Can you guess who I am?" And so that's the big differentiator I have with SB2. But it's interesting to see how he's coming on this. And again, before I read this, because it's going to be pretty controversial, is I believe SB2 is part of the Q team. I believe SB2 is a brilliant decoder, but I also believe that he's a Muslim that doesn't understand who the real Jesus is, right? Because I've had these conversations with him. SB2, if you're listening, I would love to have that conversation. You talked about calling me. Give me a ring. I gave you my phone number. So through the emails, etc., and through some stuff, I've shown him that Jesus is the Almighty. He's the God of the universe. He was there at the big creation. Jesus is not just a prophet. As you know, I was trying to open up my mind based on SB2 asking me to, and trying to figure out. But the more I dug into the Quran, the more I understood it teaches a different Jesus. It does not teach that Jesus is the Lord of all, which he is. He clearly accepted worship. Jesus clearly forgave sins. Only God can forgive sins. Only God should be receiving worship. He accepted that. When Thomas got down on his knees after seeing his hands and his side and said, "My Lord and my God," Jesus did not correct him. In every other place you see people start to worship an angel, they say, no, don't worship me, don't worship me. Because Jesus was God in flesh. That's what it means. Emmanuel. It's God with us. And the fact is that 1 John 1:1 clearly says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. And verse 14 says, the Word became flesh and made him dwell among us. That is talking about Christ. In the beginning was Christ, and he was with God, and meaning he was a separate person. and he was God, which means he's the same divine person. This is the power of our Lord and Jesus. And it's very important to understand he's much more than a prophet. He didn't leave that choice. He clearly said, before Abraham, I am. Back in Exodus 3, it says, I am who I am. Moses is saying, if I have to tell you who sent me, what do I say? He says, you tell him I am sent you. And then Jesus, years later, says, I am who I am. I mean, he says, before Abraham, I am. So what man living was before Abraham? Well, what person, if you look all through all kinds of other scripture, you'll see Jesus actually was there at the creation. Why? Because he is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. He's the third person of the Trinity, there with the Spirit and the Father. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, the one God. There's only one God in all of the universe, and he's amazing. He's omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. He can be anywhere at the same time. He's all-powerful, and he's all-knowing. We have an amazing God we can worship. That is the Jesus you should know. And any religion and any text that tells you that Jesus is not divine, he's not the Alpha and the Omega, he's not our creator, then that is false doctrine. And hopefully SB2 will come to realize who Jesus really is soon. But he's a brilliant decoder, and we are locking arms with people of all faiths to fight this cult, so we the people can knock out this cult, and that we can have freedom of religion. Because when freedom of religion is there, that's when Christianity grows the most. That's when God can do his work on everybody's heart. And that's where we're headed back to, I believe, the biggest harvest in ever, as freedom of religion spreads throughout all the world in this Great Awakening process. This Great Awakening process is just not about getting rid of the cult. It's about the gospel of Jesus. It's about the gospel spreading throughout this world in the final harvest. And you got to be a part of that. And we got to be part of the spiritual battle with lots of prayer, because only those who know the true Jesus get to the Father. That's the only way. That's why we're the remnant. We're God's army. And we need to help people like SB2 and our Muslim friends and our friends of other faiths and our people caught in cults, etc., to fight this real big satanic cult. So let's get to the chase here of what SB2 says, which is, in my opinion, wrong, but has the power of what's happening is here. God's hands on this and is changing things. So here is his message that he says. He says, hidden message. I told them I don't want anything less than the fall of the Y family and the end of the satanic triangle, and that has been the source of all the problems of our planet. Your reign has lasted long enough. Run. The storm is coming. I want you gone. Give up everything. This is not a threat. You know I am not a threat. I am a promise. You knew your reign would end. You knew the chosen one would end it. Well, here I am. Can you guess who I am? I speak to you the way I want, through codes, numbers, symbols, dates, stories, misspellings. Find out on your own what I'm really saying and who I am. The clock is ticking and the end is near. You better do the right thing. For the people I serve and the country I love, the best is yet to come. So a picture of Trump here. It says, can you guess who I am? The clock is ticking. Do the right thing. So I sent a message to Cyril Brain 2 after this, and he said, are you really saying that this is that Trump, you think Trump's Jesus? Or could he be like Elijah or a chosen one? And he basically said, well, hey, Rick, 78, the mantra for that is Bethlehem. So I clearly think he's teaching that, which is wrong. So again, if you look at the chosen ones in the Bible, the chosen one, like Moses was a chosen one. Clearly he was chosen to free the Israelis from the Egyptians. He set their people free, and he was the chosen one, right? If you look at the chosen one of Elijah coming and or maybe even John the Baptist preparing the way, right? So people can be the chosen one that can help free, and I think clearly Trump has become the chosen one to free us, but he is not Jesus. He's got the Spirit of God in him, and I think that there's that the presence of Jesus, the power of God, the power of Jesus is in this Great Awakening movement. But I don't want to go where SB2 is going, just like he was incorrect saying that Islam or the Quran teaches the same God as a Christian God. It's just not true. There might be corrupted scriptures in the Quran, and old Ismaili scriptures is what we might find a lot more stuff if this finding that Mark Taylor's talking about that might come between Vatican and Rome. Sorry, Jerusalem and Vatican. And I hope we get more clarification on exactly what the differences of these different religions is. But one thing we do know is I've studied the textual criticism of the Bible. I've studied the archaeology of the Bible. I've studied the prophecies that have come true in the Bible, and you can trust the Bible. And the Bible clearly teaches that Jesus is Lord of all. It's the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And Trump is only a human that's being anointed, just like Moses or Elijah. And it's exciting times, though, no matter what your interpretation of that is. We can thank SB2 for his decoding. All right, I love you guys. I know that was a lot. I'm going to real quickly go through just one scripture. 1 Corinthians 1:22 says, Jews demand signs and Greeks look for wisdom, but we preach Christ crucified, a stumbling block to the Jews and foolishness to the Gentiles. One of my favorite Bible memory verses. Why? Because I just love how it gives a couple of things, and it says, but we preach Christ crucified. All this could be going on around you. All these things going on around. But we preach Christ crucified. You could have all things are going on messy. But what we preach Christ crucified. So people demand signs and other people look to wisdom. But we preach Christ crucified. And that might be a stumbling block to others and foolishness to others. But it doesn't matter because it's the power of God to those that are being saved. How beautiful is that? Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for your word of God. Thank you for 1 Corinthians 1:22 and 23 that says some people will actually stumble over this. It says that Jews demand signs and Greeks look for wisdom, but we preach Christ crucified, a stumbling block to Jews and foolishness to the Gentiles. But no matter what, we will preach Christ crucified. Thank you for letting us know who Jesus is. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent God that came in flesh. The Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, the second person of the Trinity. Thank you, Lord, for the truth you give us. Thank you for all the decoders and the people working in this movement. We pray the Great Awakening we can be part of, so that we can be part of your great harvest, letting other people know about the true love of you. Thank you, Lord. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you, guys. I knew that was going to take a while, but we got through all 4 parts of this big decode. I think it took 5 or 6 shows, but I appreciate you guys hanging in with me. I feel so good because now we're caught up. We're caught up on Q, and we're caught up on SB2 decodes. That was a rough series, but I'm glad it happened during the holidays where I could actually still do a good job at my work and get this done. You guys are loved, and can't wait to see you next time. I'm just going to pull up this deal. We've finished up Trump versus Colt 93, the SB2 decode. That's awesome stuff. But remember who Jesus Christ really is. You know it. Talk to you guys later.